and then the White House says, oh, no, that's not true. Who's actually in charge? The president or the swamp? I think that's sort of something that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
You are quite welcome. Well, you know the answer to that. What he said on the 60 Minutes interview is that the pandemic is over, and because the left has used the pandemic to enact all sorts of rules and regulations, including changing voting rules and regulations, they need the pandemic. In fact, there's a video of Biden appearing not to know where he is, what he's doing.
Mr. President, thank you. At the end of such a momentous event, the word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed, thank you. So thank you, President Biden, for your outstanding...
Where is the man going? Phone call number 2, please.
Great Eldersky, this is Ron calling you from West Virginia. I'm a former journalist. Now, on the left now is pushing a voter guide in many publications across America. They got a lot of people going interstate and registering to vote in red states. Okay, you need to put a voter guide out there telling people about voter registration deadlines, about early in-person voting, about deadline to request an absentee ballot, deadline to hand deliver absentee ballots, election day. You need to get them where they can get online and get information, how to get an absentee ballot, how do I submit an absentee ballot, when are the polls open and when are they closed. They're getting their people primed. It's an army, and they're getting them primed to vote as many as they can, 100% if they can. They're moving them interstate to do that.
Well, you're absolutely right. And the reason for this is that the left believes that Trump supporters are not just wrong on the issues, but they are bad people. That's why Joe Biden can refer to Trump supporters as semi-fascists. That's why Hillary can refer to Trump voters as half are in the basket of deplorables, irredeemable. And that's why somebody like Obama can say that racism is in America's DNA. This is all designed to convince people of color, particularly, get out and vote. Your rights are under attack. Your voting rights are under attack. Your right to marry whom you want to under attack. And it's all crap. It's all nonsense. But you're quite right. We need as vigorous a get out the vote campaign as the other side has. And don't forget Mark Zuckerberg spending $419.5 million of his own money in order to gin up Democrat turnout, and did this under the nose of the RNC. I talked to someone on the RNC. I said, were you aware this was going on? And after giving me a long answer, because I think they were embarrassed, they essentially said, we were unaware of this. You were unaware that Mark Zuckerberg was literally paying election officials to gin out the Democrat vote. Without that $419.5 million, Donald Trump would have clearly won the election. It's talked about in a documentary called Rig, put out by Citizen United. It's talked about in a book by Molly Hemingway with the same title. I suggest you check it out. And I haven't even gotten started on the suppression of the Hunter Biden story and the shenanigans that took place in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and in Philadelphia. We need to fight back at least as vigorously. Let's go to another call.
Larry, I have a great idea for you on your show. From now until Election Day, instead of listening to all this crap which you're not doing about the Queen, God bless her, by the way, and every movement and every title that everybody has, why don't you get once a day a family that has been affected by the cashless bail system? Let's hear about it. Let the people hear, God forbid, what their future will be if they vote Democrat. That's a much better idea than all the crap we're listening to and watching on the TV today and the radio. God bless you, Larry, and good luck. Bye.
God bless you. That's a great idea. The church I go to is the Calvary Chapel Church in Chino Hills. And I sat next to a young man who had a relative who was murdered. And shortly after the murder, the murderer was released on bail. This is a murderer released on bail. And he told me the story about what happened to his loved one. He was sick. That's a great idea. We should be talking about real people who are affected in real ways by these soft on crime DAs, whether it's Proposition 47, as we talked about before, or Proposition 57, or cashless bail, or the attack on the police because the police are pulling back, they're not engaging in proactive policing. It's called the Ferguson effect or the George Floyd effect. And the disproportionate amount of crime is affecting the very black people that people on the left claim that they care about. Let's do one more call.
Hello, Larry. The devil was the very first Karen. He was the original Karen, and they called him the accuser of the brethren. And now we got this Karen out there in California. He's the governor, and he's accusing the Republicans of this humanitarian disaster and busing and putting people on planes and shipping them all over. That's what the Democrats been doing for months and months and months. And now they're trying to get, put their righteous hat on, and this is, righteous indignation and all that. But some people call them Democrats, but I call them devil cats. And if we had a free press, Larry, this would have been fixed a long time ago. Have a great day.
Well, we don't have a free press. As you know, I was called the black face of white supremacy because I said some of the very things that you said. And why should people in Martha's Vineyard, why should people in Chicago, why should people in New York be upset? After all, they are sanctuary states or sanctuary cities. They welcome illegal aliens. You welcome them. You have supported Joe Biden's policy. He's reversed the policies under Donald Trump that made the border the most secure border we've had in probably about 40 years. We now have 2 million illegal aliens in this country, and those are the ones we know about. There might be another 500,000 or more that never had any encounter. We have no idea who they are, whether they're terrorists, whether they're on the terror watch list. It is absolutely stunning that even people on the left are not outraged by this. As we discussed in the video I did on Donald Trump, the people most hurt by illegal aliens are people living in the inner city who have to compete with them for jobs, and the presence of illegal alien labor puts downward pressure to the tune of $1,800 a year. And George Borjas, the economist from Harvard, has probably done more work on the impact of legal and illegal immigration than anybody else, estimates that lost revenue to the black community every year is about $100 billion, and there are 1 million fewer blacks who are working as a result of the open border policy. Where is the left on all of this?